Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about functions of an entrepreneur. We all know that an entrepreneur is a person who conceives the idea to start up a business entity and finally brings the business into existence. So basically the functions of an entrepreneur can be broadly classified as entrepreneurial, promotional, managerial and commercial. Entrepreneurial functions of an entrepreneur. Now, these are the functions which an entrepreneur undertakes when he is actually bringing his business into existence. The first entrepreneurial function is innovation. An entrepreneur performs the function of an innovator because he is the one who comes up with a creative idea to bring, start up a new business or to render a new kind of service to the society. So, the first function an entrepreneur performs is innovation. Next is risk taking. An entrepreneur sets up his own business. So, in his quest to setting up his own business, he's basically undertaking the risk of even incurring losses. Okay, so he is a risk taker. Because when you're setting up a business, you can either make profits or you can also incur losses. So, an entrepreneur is basically a risk taker. Next is organizational building. An entrepreneur, he assembles the resources which is required for production. He carries out production, he markets the goods, he sells the goods, he organizes the various departments in an organization like, the HR, marketing, finance department. So basically an entrepreneur is helping in organizational building. Okay, so these are the entrepreneurial functions of an entrepreneur. Now moving on to the promotional functions of an entrepreneur. Now, the promotional functions of an entrepreneur refers to basically the functions which an entrepreneur performs when he is setting up, his business in the initial stages before carrying out production, So, the promotional functions involve the following steps, that is idea evolving or idea generation. Now, this function of an entrepreneur is basically, identifying new products to manufacture and sell in the market, or he's identifying new services to be rendered in the market. So that is idea evolving. Next is investigation. See, once an entrepreneur conceives an idea to start up a business, he may have 3-4 business ideas, but then he would want to venture into only one of the business ideas. So he needs to find out which venture is more profitable. So to find out which the profitability of a venture, he will again carry out an investigation to find which is more profitable venture. Next is assembling. Assembling here means gathering the resources which is required to carry out to establish the business unit. And lastly, financing. An entrepreneur prepares financial plans, and these financial plans are submitted to prospective investors. Okay, so basically it is one of the functions of an entrepreneur is also taking of these financial plans. So these are the functions, promotional functions of an entrepreneur. Now moving on to the managerial functions of an entrepreneur. We all know, right? The functions of management are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, and controlling. So every business unit, carries out these managerial functions. And since this business unit is owned by an entrepreneur, so basically an entrepreneur performs all these functions. Now, planning is nothing but determining the predetermined course of action, deciding, how the business is going to venture out, how it is going to be established, and, how you're going to carry out production and, deciding aspects regarding the growth of the business. So next is organizing. Organizing is gathering the resources which is required for, establishing the business unit. Staffing basically refers to identifying the HR which you require, that is the human resource required in order to establish the business. Directing here basically means preparation of plans, so that you can carry out every organization can achieve towards its goals. Coordination here making sure that all the departments in an organization, that is the HR department, finance department, marketing department, production department, all of them are working in sync with each other. And lastly, we have controlling. Controlling here basically means an entrepreneur has to keep exercise tight supervision over all the functions and all the activities in a business, so that any deviation from the plans can be identified in the beginning itself, and we can rectify, we can take remedial measures. And lastly, communication. Communication function here means an entrepreneur should communicate the business plans and the objectives to all the departments in an organization. Only then all the departments will work in coordination with one another. So these are the managerial functions of an entrepreneur. Lastly, we have the commercial functions of an entrepreneur. So commercial functions basically are those functions which are performed by an entrepreneur once the business is established. So the main commercial functions are production, marketing, and finance. Production here refers to, the entrepreneur has to look into the production schedules, make sure, that the production is carried out on time and in accordance with the pre-planned production schedules. Okay, and then marketing here refers to basically manufacturing the goods and then making efforts in order to promote the products, or to, in order to promote the services which are being rendered by the business unit. Finance is the lifeblood of any business. So basically an entrepreneur has to make sure that adequate financial resources are available in order to carry out the day-to-day activities of the business. And also whenever the business plans to carry out its expansion, the entrepreneur should make sure that adequate financial resources are available in order to expand the business also.